Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman. Tonight's awesome guest is Cesar Soto from Ministry and Man the Mute. What's going on, Cesar?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Mark, Dave, thanks for having me on. Pretty
man.
Stoked to be on here and just kind of nerd out and geek out over cool things with you guys.
Yeah, man, for sure. Friday night and guitar gear and music. What could be better?
You know?
So
I've had a busy day.
Yeah, well, so did I. I know.
Yeah, it was a day of people coming in my shop, which basically means I didn't get anything done.
Oh yeah.
But, at least you got some cool hangs out of it.
Yeah, we had. I had an old client of mine come in early in the morning, talking about a new thing he wanted to do, and then we had Steve Stevens come through.
Nice.
While I was talking to Steve Stevens, Tim Skold comes wandering in from across the street.
All right, right on.
I don't know if you know Tim.
Oh yeah, I do actually. We did a tour together a couple of years ago. He was playing. I believe he was on tour with Frontline Assembly. He was playing guitar.
Yeah,
Frontline.
Yeah.
They were opening for Ministry, and we did probably about 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks together.
Yeah, I've known Tim a long time, dating back, when he was in Manson and stuff.
Well, congrats to.
And now he's in Manson again.
Congrats to him again, right? That's cool. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to come back into a fold twice. You know what I'm saying? So that's.
Yeah, I mean, their relationship rekindled again. So
that's good.
Yeah,
it's always good. It's always good to have. It's always good to get over stuff if there's any bad stuff happening. It ain't worth it.
I love the press they were doing. It's like, I forgot what they said. I forgot the saying that they said, but they did it with such a classy picture, and then they, things to come or something, or like,
the
future of things to come or something, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, right on.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. That creates a thing,
a mystery. It creates a buzz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. The mystique, the best part of it is a mystique. It's like people want to know, and it's like, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, I went way back with that band, like like the first John 5 when he first got in the band.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's early.
So
that's another part of the
tour they did with Hole.
Wow,
long time ago.
John 5,
Mechanical Animals.
Another sweetheart of a person that dude is.
Oh, John. Yeah.
He
was on the show.
I've known him a long time. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Is he still in Motley Crue? Is he still doing the thing? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know. I was surprised when you said Manson's still doing a tour. I thought he kind of got canceled at some point.
Oh no, he came back.
Yeah, he came back.
No, that a while ago. He came back like a year ago or something. Yeah.
I went to high school with the original guitar player, Daisy Berkowitz.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yep. He went to my high school. We knew each other, peripherally. So
where are you guys from?
In Coral Springs, Florida.
Oh, Florida. All right, man.
Yeah. He went to Taravella High School. And now Scott Patesky was his name. It was just on the tip of my tongue. It's his real name, Scott Patesky. So he passed away, unfortunately.
Right.
Cancer. So
that's horrible.
Yeah. I used to see them in another band back early in the day, playing just local bands with another band called Collapsed Lung.
And that's an interesting name.
What's that?
That's an interesting name.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it, but Manson did. So
right on.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. So where are you located, Cesar?
I live in Los Angeles. Yeah, I live in Los Angeles. I've been here for about 3 years now, but I mean, working out of Los Angeles for the past 12 years now. So, I joined Ministry in late 2014, which wasn't announced until like 2015. And that was, that's already been 12 years, but originally from El Paso, Texas. and moved out here about 3 years ago. You know, came out here. My wife is from Los Angeles and always lived out here. So, you know, just sold my house, relocated, and got married to this amazing woman.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a science nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What'd she do?
She actually works for Carnegie
Carnegie.
Science.
Oh, really? I've not heard of them.
Oh yeah. They're pretty prolific in science history. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Is it
Keeps me in check.
is it medical science or?
No, it's actually science, the universe, and
Okay.
astronomers and
I see.
all that good stuff.
Wow.
Space science. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very cool stuff. And so do you pop into Dave's place periodically?
Yeah. I see Dave. I see you once a week, probably.
Yeah.
I see Dave once a week, and then I see him once in a while when we rehearse near
Mm-hmm.
near your place. Yeah.
Yeah. Mates across the street.
Yeah. Mates. Yeah.
It's famous. I'd imagine like people are just hanging out outside of Mates, just trying to get autographs from people.
You know, that does happen sometimes.
It does.
It does happen sometimes. It's depends on what the band is and
Right.
if they know they're there. You know, sometimes like this, it always seems to happen with System of a Down.
Huh.
They're if they rehearse there, first of all, they're loud.
Mhm.
But if they rehearse there, it seems somehow someone are always post where they're at.
Oh,
You know, like one of the band members, like, you idiot, why did you do that?
like people
And
know what
and-
the inside of Mates looks like now.
And then of course you see him, because my shop's across the street directly, right? And so you see him sort of standing kind of close on the other side of the street, kind of like listening. And they're generally they're not too pushy, so
Yeah.
but they're hoping that one of them walks out of a room or something and they can maybe get an autograph on something or something.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
just want to listen to what you're working on.
Yeah,
I was
it's not too bad, but they often when that starts happening, they close the gates over there and like try to keep them out, because occasionally in the past they've had people try to come in the rooms and stuff, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I was that kid listening, when I was like 12 or 13, outside of clubs or outside of venues, trying to like, listen to the sound check and
Oh,
that's fun stuff back then.
that's
When
awesome.
you had that drive and that passion for it,
the best. Yeah. So the best thing about like that era of music, like especially when I was a kid, I mean, when I was born in the late 70s and grew up like through the 80s into 90s. I was a teenager in the early 90s, and the late 80s is when like we would wait in line for concert tickets, like when they were announced, and it was like overnight thing. They had a list with names on them. That way you can take a break and go grab something to eat or use the restroom, come back, and your name was on the list in that order. But man, my parents used to drop me and my older brother off, which was like, he was like 3 years older. So you would have like a 12-year-old kid or 11-year-old kid. And my other brother was like 14,
camping
out for tickets. And, and then the city, they implemented this like curfew, like teen curfew. It was actually just called teen curfew, like teen curfew law. And I remember they picked us up one day. We're waiting in, I forget what concert we were waiting for tickets.
You muted your mic. Cesar. The bottom of the screen, there should be a little mic. There you go.
All right. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. You hear me good?
It seems
Now
like
it sounds
something-
like it's a different mic.
Yeah, sounds like the room mic.
Nope.
Nope, now we can't hear you.
Nope.
Speak again. Say something.
No. Maybe the mic's not selected or something. Or
Didn't
I
look
don't know
like
what
it.
happened. Technical glitches.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Hang on, people.
Hey,
Hang
we can
on
do
here.
our sponsors while we're
Yeah,
waiting.
We can do that. So make sure you guys check out Sweetwater. We have a link below. Oh, he's joining twice. Oh, maybe he's joining from his phone. Let's see. Hang on. Let me hear.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You hear me there, right?
I can hear you
Yes.
here.
All right. I'm going to have to do this, unfortunately, man.
Okay.
All right.
We can
What
live with it.
happened?
I have no clue. I got disconnected here on my. I have no clue. I guess you have 2 views now.
Well, no, you can sign out of that one.
I can remove him off the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to do that?
Yeah. Would you?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about
There
that.
you go. So there you go. You're good.
I guess my interface quit here. Sorry about that.
Oh, is it an Apollo?
It is actually.
Okay. It's a
There you
UA. I love them over there, but I have the biggest problems with that shit. I don't know why.
Yeah. Now you guys are like super small in the feed, so it's all good. But yeah, so we're talking about waiting in line for concert tickets. So they took us to a substation, right? Like a police substation, and and the funny thing is that let's put you here. Took us to a substation, and they called our parents. They picked us up, and all they did was drop us off again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all they did was drop us off again. So I mean, those were the fun times of music for me. Is like waiting in line for concert tickets. And there's no such thing as online, you know.
Oh yeah. I did it too. I did it. You know, I'm a little older than you, so I remember all through the '80s waiting in line.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Hey, hear you. I can hear Mark.
You can't hear me? Really? Mark, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
I cannot hear Dave.
How strange.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what's going on. Can people? I'm just going to ask the audience. Can you guys hear? Someone just wrote, "I can hear all 3." Well, that's weird. You can't hear Dave. Dave, go ahead and speak.
Yeah, check.
I can't.
I'm talking. No? Maybe sign out and sign back in again. I don't know. Click out of it and click back in again.
Yeah, hang up and then call back in.
All right, let me do that.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
So anyway, back to Sweetwater. We have a link below, and if you use it, it helps out the channel. And no extra charge for you. Just click on the link if you want to buy something in Sweetwater. Pick strings, Bricasti reverb.
Yeah.
Neve console, whatever floats your boat. Please.
The Cesar Soto signature guitar.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Which looks pretty
cool. Is cool, actually.
Yeah, I like it. With the
this is ESP. What is it? No, Schecter.
It's a Schecter. Yeah.
Oh. I want one of those.
Yeah, isn't that cool? With the one,
I need one of those. Like I need a hole in the head, but I still kind of want one. We got to talk about that when he's back on.
Yeah, it's a cool guitar. 14-inch radius, 22 extra jumbos, Graph Tech nut. I wonder what the pickup is. Oh, it's an EMG. It's his signature EMG. He's an EMG guy. So it's a active EMG 85.
Got it.
That's cool.
I totally like it.
Yeah, me too.
Reminds me of the old the latter era Ibanez Explorers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I love the headstock, but I get why they did that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a cool body though.
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely cool. And what's the price on it?
Yeah, someone wrote here, I dig single pickup guitars.
Yeah, me too.
Real men can play a single pickup guitar.
And plus, it's just it's a very 80s thing, and plus, it's a very Eddie thing, of course.
I grew up with a single pickup guitar. I don't know. I just maybe that's just my era I grew up in.
Hey, Cesar, can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
I don't think so.
Hello,
Cesar, can you hear us?
Turn off the Bluetooth.
can you hear us now?
Just getting sound on here. Give me 1 second. All right, you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't hear them.
Oh wow.
Should be like in the bottom of the screen. There's,
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm
You hear us?
totally having technical difficulties here.
Can you hear us?
I can't really hear you dudes. Very robotic.
In the okay.
You could try using your phone again.
You sound like a chipmunk coming through.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely gonna have to.
Yeah, go back to the phone. I thought that's what you'd sign back in on.
Try the phone.
Let me try and reconnect, guys.
Is it an iPhone?
Try to use the phone.
All right.
All right, Sweetwater, and then we go on to
So yeah, check out Sweetwater, and then the next would be Legendary Tones. Make sure you guys check out legendarytones.com for their hot mod. They've got the Tim Caswell one. They also have the Mr. Scary.
the original.
Yeah. So
I think my favorite is the original.
Yeah, I haven't heard the Tim Caswell one yet. So,
well, I mean the Mr. Scary is just a little less gain than the original, which is interesting. So,
yeah,
but I haven't heard the Caswell yet. I actually heard someone else do a demo of the Caswell that I think Swedish metal dude. I don't even know how to say his name. Uge, the long-haired Swedish metal dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't say his name. Uge or something. I don't know.
I don't even know, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
That's cool. Yeah, well, that's so that's that, and then Legendary Tones, and then we've got Thomann.
Thomann, yep.
So make sure you guys check out Thomann, our friends overseas. Order from Thomann, and they'll ship to the U.S. too. Although you'll have to deal with tariffs and tax or whatever the hell. So,
Trump tariffs.
Yep. Hopefully, Cesar will be able to join us back soon.
If not, this will turn into an Ask Dave.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he comes back. I was enjoying the conversation going back.
Uge, killer player, he says, and loves your amp too, Dave. Yeah, he has. I think he has a small box.
Uge, okay, here.
Uge something. I can't. I listen to him say his name, and then I can't say it. Yeah, he's cool, man. He does some cool stuff. He did a little IR pack or something recently that was cool. Yeah, I think maybe we should have him on the show. That might be fun.
Where's he located?
I think he's Swedish. I think it's Sweden or Norway or something like that. So
That's cool.
so
Pronounce
what else is going on, Mark? It's gonna until we get Cesar back, it's gonna turn into an Ask Dave. So you guys ask away.
Yep, ask the questions. We're
Ask
here.
a question. Finland, maybe. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Someone. I knew someone would answer for us.
And it's pronounced. What did they say? Uge Valoverda.
Yeah, it's a name.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can't complain. I shouldn't say anything about anybody with a Uzansky as my last name. That was always a tough one. By the way, what are your thoughts?
Okay. Sorry, I found a question, but okay. Try to hold it in place.
All right, hold it in place. You ever use this?
Oh God, I haven't seen that shit since I was a kid.
I know.
Yeah, why don't you just fucking rub some oil up and down your strings?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it. It's like a. I don't use it very often. Like, quite frankly, this has been sitting here forever. But I pulled it out and I threw it on. I was playing my EVH, and
it used to be that it came on a little like stick, like a roll-on, not a roll-on stick, but like a little padded
product. That's a different product.
Is it?
Yeah, there's another one that I had, which is
Fret something or something.
Yeah, I forget the name of the product, but there was
maybe that's the one that I.
Yeah, that you would stick. It came with a stick, and it would just go.
Yeah, rub it on your strings and all that stuff.
Yeah, which is a bit more of a natural thing, I think, if I remember correctly, as opposed to this, which is like Teflon or.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't know what that is then.
And it's extremely flammable.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
If you play too fast, your fingers are going to catch on fire.
Yeah, you could be like what's his name from Kiss?
Gene Simmons.
No. Oh, he had this guitar with the fire.
Oh yeah.
Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley. Yeah.
I can't fucking think.
3J Music says, question for Dave. Sorry if this has already been addressed, but why don't any of your amps or IR pedals have built-in reverb? Well, first of all, generally speaking, most of my amps are kind of more English-based, shall we say, amps. And in general, English-based amps never had reverb. Mostly reverb was popularized in Fender-style blackface, combos and things. Spring reverb isn't really a great reverb to have in like a hard rock, shall we say, distorted guitar tone. So that's mainly why.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
we got it.
I got it.
All right.
All right. So what did I miss?
So we were talking about why none of my amps have reverb.
All right. So
and first of all, and here's another thing. Generally speaking, with most pro musicians I know,
yeah,
none of them actually use reverb.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. If they use something, they use a delay for some echo.
Yeah, for solos and boost.
I remember years ago, or even some background, just ambient echo all the time, lightly. I remember years ago, studio guitar players that I dealt with and stuff, they go, we never use reverb in the studio ever. We use stereo delays and things like that. That sort of sounds like reverb.
Yeah.
But we don't, because it thins out the sound and just doesn't.
Well,
so
Eddie used reverb on the first couple albums, but
that was a chamber reverb that was added.
Yeah.
After the fact,
Yeah, he didn't.
And spring reverb doesn't really apply to heavy music.
No, the heavy music is as heavy music. Like in my case, it's like, and I think I've talked to you about this before, Dave. Is like, I think there's like a big misconception when it comes to heavy guitar tone and gain staging, It's like, you know, uh, a lot of people ask me about my tone and how I achieve my tone because it's heavy and it's clean. And the answer is low gain. It's not like high gain. It's like low gain and achieving like the percussiveness and between it starts here, your hand and how much you dig in, the dynamic basically. It's like dynamics in your hand laying off and digging in whenever you need to dig in. Like I'm into like one trick ponies. Like if I have an amp with like 3 channels on occasion, maybe I'll use 2, but I usually try and achieve everything I need from 1 channel and
Apparently
kind
one
of just
pickup too.
yeah, one pickup. But I did see something that you had pulled up regarding a guitar, and I'm like, not
Yeah,
with
we
that.
pulled up
Yeah,
your
well, we can
guitar.
say it again.
Well, that's a 3 years ago thing. I haven't been with that company.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, so
They
I'm
still
actually
sell it though.
I see that, but
Do you get money with it still?
I haven't seen anything.
Oh,
Really?
But
well, then we're
yeah,
not about that.
but I'm with Jackson now. I'm totally happy with Jackson, and that's
Oh, yeah,
like.
that's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, my first pro guitar when I was a kid, I think I was maybe 16 or 17 years old when I was actually able to save enough money to buy a killer guitar. Was the first thing was a Jackson King V when they came out and introduced them to the public, and at that time it was called the King V Standard and King V Pro, and they were
Right.
Japanese made guitars, killer guitars. So, it just turns out, uh, what, 30 years later, like 31 years later, I'm using Jackson again. And so I couldn't be happier. Quality of the guitars are killer. I'm using the Japanese Rhodes V's and they're like indestructible and they stay in tune.
Awesome.
And it has a Floyd on it, or it's a
No,
no,
it's string through.
string
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah,
That's
it's a string through body, and it's like, I'm into when it comes to guitars and amps, I'm into like the one trick. As easy as you can make a guitar and an amp sound and a guitar, like as far as guitar maintenance, I kind of think about I always have a guitar tech in mind, and um I always think about them and their workload because sometimes, I mean, especially like festivals, or if you're playing like if you're second up on a 4 band bill doing sheds the way we did like with Cooper and Zombie for like 2 consecutive years.
mm,
Their productions were so big that us being second on the bill, those changeovers are so quick. So you have to keep in mind like you have to think about your dudes and how quick things have to be. And sometimes they don't have chance to, set guitars up or mess with gear. So I try and keep everything as simple as possible, but I love to make it sound like a just a total freight train, a
right.
sonic clean
Yeah.
freight train. Yeah. Yeah. Cause anything could go wrong. And I always think about like, I work on my rig and they're simple rigs, but I work on my tones at least a month before we start going on, and I start going through all the probabilities of failure, which is probably what I should have done with this like interface before it went down. But yeah, I try and go through all the all the fail scenarios to try and get back as quick as you can.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of build my rig and I train somebody to the easiest. I try and make it whether it be like investing in a loom, um, like from Bestronix, they have killer looms that I have a ton of different looms for different situations. If we're using real amps or if we don't have enough uh changeover time it really depends on the situation. So I kind of have a rig for for any situation because I need to be ready. You need to be ready for and you need to be able to adapt, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Of
So are
course.
you using real amps on stage in those situations, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm using EVH. So I've been using the Stealth.
Nice.
That's like my main. That's like my main mama right there. And I'm using the Blue Channel, simple pedal board. I'll do 4 cable method
Yeah,
too,
but wait,
incorporating.
you're using the Stealth on that
Yeah.
channel, but with a lower gain tube, right?
Oh yeah, we talked about this. Yeah. So I experimented. So obviously that I see that you have EVH over there, right, Mark?
Yeah. I actually have the Stealth 50 watt.
Okay, the killer amp, right? So you
Yeah.
have the 6L6 version, right?
Yes.
So any of the versions, obviously, you know that they're gain monsters.
Oh
That's
yeah.
they're killer gain monsters.
I
But
wanted to, but I back it off also. Yeah.
but I ended up putting a 12 AY7 in V1, and dude, the amp just opened up. Like if you thought it was a screamer and it sounded killer before, that just opened up all this headroom. Like before, like my gain was like set at, like, if you were looking at a 0 dial 1 2, I
Mhm.
would set it at 2 or 3 at most, and that would be enough. But now it has that much headroom to where I can have it in the middle, or have it like at the 1 o'clock position, and it growls more, it's cleaner.
Right.
Yeah, so that was like, I'm glad that I took the time to experiment with that. And I love the science behind uh, tones and recording stuff, and I love putting microphones to them and using cab IRs and just different scenarios, because it's what makes me happy. Like I love the science behind what works and what doesn't work. And that's been like a big thing for me, in terms of putting the formula together, from guitar to pickup, to amp, to whatever's in your chain. I have a formula that works right for me. And especially like with my hand, I'm more of a rhythm player. I could play leads and stuff, but I love being part of a rhythm section.
Mhm.
And part of a rhythm section requires you to be in that guitar frequency zone, where you take your bass player's bass tone into consideration, because that bass tone is going to make your guitar tone sound that much better. When you're playing with a bass player that has a killer bass tone that covers all those hugging frequencies, and you put your guitar tone in there, it just makes it sound that much better. So I always, credit the bass player's tone to whatever, my guitar tone sounds like. So, but what we're talking about was just formula that works for you, and what works for you might not work for the next person. But I'm always glad to help if someone asks any questions.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we were
Regarding
talking
sound.
about the gain thing.
Yeah.
You know, I always complain about this. People have gotten like, overzealous with their gain, or have gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the pro guys that I know that play heavier kind of stuff don't use anywhere close to the amount of gain that shall we say the average home player or whatever tries to do.
Yeah.
Like people is like, well, yeah, I love Jerry Cantrell's tone and this and that, but his amp doesn't seem to have enough gain. I'm like,
Mm.
Jerry uses that amp at 6 on the gain.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, if
And
you saw the settings, you'd be like, what?
yeah, and again, I mean, you're talking about like you're talking about Jerry, like he's an amazing songwriter, and he's an amazing player that understands and knows dynamics,
Yeah.
like dynamics, and like pulling back,
Mhm.
pulling back on the beat.
Oh yeah,
Like
he's
he's a
created
genius.
some
Yeah.
iconic riffs.
Oh yeah.
Iconic
Iconic
riffs,
riffs.
amazing songwriter, cool dude,
Great tone.
Yeah.
and
Great.
killer tone.
Yeah. Killer.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the the one guest we haven't had on.
Sure. We keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Tim Skold on now, though, too.
All right on. Okay.
Now that I thought about that.
Yeah.
That would be
I don't
nice.
remember what he was running, but yeah, that going back to like the low gain is always works for me, and just the combination of like Seymour Duncan JBs and with my Jacksons into EVH, and I always try to not use any type of overdrive. I love to just kind of just plug into an app and go. For me, that's like kind of proven to be just a more pure tone. Just
Sure.
it tells the truth. Like it will tell the truth about your dynamics and what kind of player you are.
yeah.
But I always do have some type of overdrive on my pedal board, given any situation. You never know if you never know if you might need it, or if you might have the same amp during a fly gig, but the gain staging might be different and you might need it. So you never know.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have, especially fly gigs.
Yeah, always have it on there. I always have it on there for something.
So you're not using the EMGs anymore?
No, not at all. That's been like that has been maybe about 2 years now. I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm thinking, yeah, 2 years since and that was, I had been using active pickups for a long time, and they're great. And they're a great company. Tommy at EMG is an awesome dude, but I think over time, whether it be my ear or whether it be my different dynamic, I just felt that passive pickups were kind of my thing. Like it just started to feel a lot better. I started to notice how much more the EQ opens up on an amp, and how much more organic it was, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And and I was over at a friend's studio, and he kind of made me realize that like he goes, that's because I was so impressed by the tone, and I was like, dude, this like sounds amazing. And he's like, passive pickup. He's like, that's what you really sound like. That's what you really sound like. And I was like blown away, because it just captured it. It inspired me. Like it was an inspiring tone. So yeah, I mean, I switched over, and I had been with EMG for a long time, but I did it the right way. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, you just don't bail, and then all of a sudden there's a post, you're on some video like repping something else. I did it the right way, and that was actually probably one of the hardest calls I have actually made in my career. But it's like total transparency for me. I think total transparency says a lot about who
Yeah.
you are,
Mhm.
and longevity too. It's like that shows who you really are, and it correlates with longevity in this like business. You know what I mean? There's so much gear out there, and people want this and people want that, but it's like, well, people that want this and get this, like, are they using it? You know what I'm saying? So I did the right thing. I called him, I messaged him, and the first thing he said was, "Are you breaking up with me?" And I was like, "Oh." So then
First.
so I gave him a call, and he was totally cool about it. He was totally cool, and I just said, I just want to explore, and I feel like that's calling me, and I feel like that's where I am right now. And he was super cool about it. Saw
That's
him at
the right
NAT,
way
and
to
we had
do
a
it,
great conversation.
Yeah, you don't burn any bridges,
Yeah.
keep everything cool, and
Yeah.
who knows, you could always come back, because your tone may evolve one day, and you may be like, shit, you know what, I like those active pickups, and I want to go back, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
could
So, I mean, that's where I'm at right now, and I'm happy about that. It was a combination of that, and when I got with Mike over at Mike Tempesta over at Jackson EVH, which is an amazing dude as well.
Oh yeah.
Like he's probably, I would say he is the best artist relations dude that I have ever in the 28 years that I've been like touring on different levels. That's the kind of person that you want to deal with. Like he's a perfect example of someone that gets it because he's done all of it. And you know, the first V that I got, it had Seymour Duncan in it. And I was just convinced after that. I was like, that's where I need to be. So
JP.
Yeah, Mike is an old friend of mine. Way before he was ever at Fender and EVH. Back in the Power Man 5000 days when he used to play with Power Man 5000. He's a play. He came from a touring and playing background.
No, yeah.
So he knows what people need, and he knows how to take care of people.
And he's a great guitar player too.
He's a great guitar player. Yeah,
he's a killer guitar player, and tone. Like he's a tone chaser. You know what I mean? He's like,
I know. I work on all his amps.
Yes, he's a tone nerd. Like, and I love it. I love the total like tone nerd community, because that's another reason I love this city. It's like there's a lot of people that are on that same frequency of just geeking out on this stuff, and it's like it's endless, and it's just
right.
You could sit there for hours and talk.
Yeah, you could sit there for hours, and for some people, it's like Tone is a very personal thing. It's like extremely, it's part of your DNA, to the point where like, if you can't figure something out, sometimes you lose sleep over it because your brain is working on it, when you're sleep. That's happened to me before. Is like, I've woken up and I'm like, I just can't figure this out, and I'll wake up.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, how am I going to get this working? Yeah, exactly.
I do that all the time, man. I just like, it's like I'll go to bed thinking about something, and then in the middle of the night I'll wake up in bed literally thinking about the same thing, and like all night long, like, God damn it, I got to get up and get to the shop. I need to figure this out.
Yeah,
and that drives you nuts.
Or you get an idea in your head, I want to try this.
Yeah,
and then you're like, fuck, I got to try that. I got to experiment with that.
Dude,
you get this idea, and then you drive yourself insane. I do. I drive myself insane all the time because I'm constantly tweaking and constantly wanting to improve upon something. Or what if I do this? Does this do this? Will that work like that? I don't know. Let me try it.
Yeah. Another dude that I have like tremendous respect for, not only because he's a great human being, a great person, but like he's the ultimate tone scientist, is Joe Barresi. Like,
oh, Joe, yeah,
dude,
Joe's awesome.
Like his knowledge for tone is like, it's top tier, and just, like we were talking about, it's like the tone nerd community, and it's like learning from each other. That's someone that I also have tremendous respect for.
Absolutely, Joe's a friend.
Yeah.
So,
and I listen when he speaks. I listen because it's like it resonates with me. So
we should have him on.
Right on.
I already was talking to him about that. He was like, "Well, send me a video, and maybe I'll think about it."
Yeah,
but
yeah, he's great, man. He's great. I love. He's an amazing person, and just he knows his shit. Like he knows his shit, and he knows the science behind it. He knows the science behind everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of his studio. He's got like it looks like Mike Torn's room.
I think he just moved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he moved out of the studio, and I think he was moving out of the state.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know where he finally landed. I forgot. Yeah, he moved out of California.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people move out of California.
Right? Yeah.
It's expensive to live here, man. I mean,
It's
like
ex-
it's expensive.
it is very expensive, but I think, I moved from Texas and there's a lot of people that give me shit, and I can say that on this. I
Yeah,
can
you
cuss.
can.
All right.
Cuss,
There's a lot of
cuss
people
all
that
you
give me.
want.
All right. A lot of people and some actually not a lot, but a good amount of people give me shit about moving from Texas to California. But honestly, I I I would pay whatever I would pay anything to just stay here, honestly, because it's just like a certain for me it's being around the creatives that kind of fuel your
Yeah,
cell, man. Like I've never been this creative, and I've never met so many people that are into the same shit. Um, I always joke around and tell people like, dude, if you're into like toothpicks and the science behind toothpicks, you will find a community in Los Angeles that loves the same fucking thing. Uh, because it's full of all the weird people and all the creatives, and it's like this fucking weird salad of all these different um uh like cultures, and we're talking about everything from food to music to everything. It's like all here. So it's
true.
been,
It's a culture melting pot for
yeah,
sure. Um,
it's my favorite city, and it really has become, and
it,
it was from an early age, it has
it
been my favorite city
it's not
aside
my
from Prague.
favorite city anymore, but
What's your
I
favorite
love
city?
I love the weather here is fantastic. I
Oh yeah.
mean, you can't beat that. At the same token of all the things you're saying, it's also filled with tons of douchebags.
I hear you. But
I mean, in a big way. I mean, in a large scale.
yeah.
And it's interesting. I think I'm from Detroit, and I think my heart still lies there.
Hmm. Harpo's.
And well, yeah, Harpos. I don't know if my heart lies there, but but yeah, Harpos is fun. Um, but that city has totally done a 360-degree spin.
I agree.
It is amazing now.
Yeah.
It was like voted like the number one city in the country to move to. I mean, it's like crazy. What?
Dude, we just played at the uh I think on the last US tour that we did, we played this really cool, you probably know about this Masonic temple, like this
Yeah, Masonic
Masonic,
Temple. Yeah, yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that
That's a
place was
crazy place.
so creepy cool. And
Yeah,
just walking around the neighborhood, you can see
yeah,
how they were building a community in the
yeah.
neighborhood, which was it was like pretty awesome to see all these old buildings that were once like abandoned, like come
Now
into life.
refurbished. Yeah,
Yeah, just putting
yeah,
apartments up and just
yeah.
creating a
It's an interesting community now. It's very artsy.
yeah,
It's a lot of art, a lot of music of all styles and kinds.
yeah,
A lot of alternative sort of people
yeah,
in general. Routinely you go, and the food scene is probably the best in the country.
yeah.
I would
Wow.
go as far to say that.
Wow.
It's and every kind of culture, and also it's kind of a melting pot of different cultures.
I love it.
So it's really become very interesting, but it's almost like more. LA has a superficial side to it, and it's more real to me.
Mhm.
It's cold.
It gets cold. Sure, it
I
gets
don't
cold,
do well. I
but
don't do well in
it's
the
more
cold.
real. It's more real.
I live in Florida, so
It's I don't know. It's an interesting thing. My daughter lives there now.
yeah.
Oh, right on.
She grew up here, but she moved. She wound up moving to Detroit. It's funny. She wound up moving to Detroit.
Yeah.
Because she works for Delta Airlines. She's a flight attendant, and there's a hub in Detroit. And she was in New York for a while, and then she moved to Detroit. And she's like, "This is my forever home. I love it here.
It's in the DNA, man."
Yeah, she goes, "I just love it here." And there's elements of it that are just amazing. Like if I took either of you there and you hung out for a while, you'd get exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've had some good times in Detroit. You know, I've like I was mentioning this last time that we played there. I always make it wherever we play. It doesn't matter where it is. I always make it a point to walk around and just kind of take everything in. I think that's needed. Like for your soul, you need to travel. You need to like experience like different cultures and everything. Just you need to learn as much as you can about the earth that you walk on too. You know what I'm saying? It just creates a different diverse person within you, which is really awesome. So I did some cool walking there. Not so much like 25, 26 years ago.
Oh no.
Or maybe like it was probably maybe 27 or 28 years ago. I was a young man and playing harpos for the first time.
Harpos is a fucking experience,
dude. I was just a kid. I was probably maybe 19 or 20 when I started touring, and I remember the security was telling everyone, whatever you do after the show and then when it's dark, don't walk anywhere beyond this point, you know. And I had never seen like a row of security people like on each side of your gear while you were loading it into the trailer. But I totally, me being like 19 or I think 20 years old, I had a calling card, you know, I had no cell phone, had a calling card from Walmart. It was like $30 on it or whatever. And it was like Walmart or Sam's. I think if I would go to Sam's, I'd end up getting like some, you know, ungodly amount of minutes on there and just to make payphone calls. And I walked off looking for a payphone.
Oh no.
But I was hungry at the same time. And I just remember this like really awesome burger joint, like close to Harpo's.
I think it's still there.
I ended up walking to this place and I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, everyone turned around and they were like, who the fuck is this guy? And why is he walking in? So I ordered and I sat down, and I probably at that age, you know, I probably had a couple of drinks in me, and I sat down, ate my burgers, and a group of dudes told me, dude, you don't want to be walking around here by yourself. And I did it anyways. I even found that payphone. I made a quick call. I went back and all the dudes were like, what are you doing? Like, where were you? We were looking for you. And again, it was like no one had cell phones.
It's funny. Yeah. During that time in that era that you're talking that was a fucking mess.
Yeah. Oh,
it's funny now. Now that area, like across the street and around it, it's most stuff has been torn down. So it's like kind of vacant fields and stuff. It wasn't like there used to be buildings like right across the street and stuff, and now it's like vacant fields and things. So it's like considerably safer than it once was. I'm not saying it's perfectly safe, but it's considerably safer than it once was. I mean, you know, tenfold, but it's still there. I know the owner now.
Yeah.
He has a long history in Detroit rock scene. He used to own a club called Blondie's in Detroit.
Okay.
And Blondie's was a smaller rock club, you know, that was infamous in the 80s and, you know, into the 90s and stuff. And
was there a place called Rock City there?
City. There was a music store called Rock City, I think.
No, it wasn't Rock City. There was another venue there. It was a small club.
There's other places like rock clubs like the Token Lounge, and there was back in the day there was Blondie's. There was a place called the Ritz back in the day. There was I mean there was other ones too. I mean they're just, you know, It's interesting.
Yeah. So, Mark, did you grow up in Florida, or where did you grow up?
New York mostly. That's where I grew up, and
in the city?
New York, yeah, New York City for a while. I grew up in, but I grew up in Brooklyn, and
Oh, nice.
then I moved to Florida, and
Brooklyn.
then I went back, lived in Manhattan for a while, and I was in a band in Manhattan, did that for a while, and then for work I lived in New Jersey. So
Yeah.
I've been kind of back and forth to the Northeast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lived in Manhattan.
Oh, nice. All right.
That was a cool time.
Brooklyn Paramount.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever- yeah, it's a killer venue.
I've heard. I've not been there, but I've heard it's a great venue.
Oh, it's a great venue. Yeah.
Brooklyn is a completely like changed city now. Like I haven't been back in a long time, but
Yeah.
it's completely refurbished too.
Wow.
Great
Cool to
food.
see. It's cool to see when people put that into their communities. You know, like growing up in Texas, I um they never really experienced a sense of community the way I have like out here, and to see like different like little towns. There's so many little towns here in Los Angeles. You know, every exit is like a new like town, and
Yeah.
every town, especially along the foothills, they have their own like small community, which is really cool. And it's cool to see like cities do that, and like, you know, put money back in.
Where are
To
you
the
now?
city.
Where do you live now? What
I live
area?
in Montrose.
Oh, okay, yeah,
La Crescenta.
Montrose. That's a whole little town of its own,
Oh,
for
dude,
sure. It's a beautiful little town.
it's so killer.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's you know, walking
Doesn't
distance.
have the Mexican restaurant called Joselito's there or something?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Joselito's.
yeah. I haven't been.
Joselito's.
I don't think I've actually stepped foot in that place in like 20 years, but
Oh, you
I remember
should,
it.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that strip, it's a street called Honolulu Street. It's
Yeah.
a special place. They have a really high-end music store. It's called Grayson's.
Yeah.
Grayson's Toontown. I guess it's been there for like 50, 60 years, but you walk in and it's like it's a Fender custom shop dealer, Gibson custom shop dealer. They have everything from like, you know, entry level to really high-end
Yeah.
stuff. They just started carrying like really high-end Jackson stuff, which is really awesome. So it's like, if I need something, I take a 5-minute walk down the street. And
My friend, my longtime friend is the guitar repair guy there, Eric.
Eric's awesome.
Yeah.
Eric's great. Yeah, he does a lot of great work. And the good thing about that place is like everyone that works there, they know the craft. Like they know the craft of setups, or installing pickups, or like doing intense repairs like Eric. Like, and sometimes it's really hard to find somebody that you trust to repair your instrument. It's like taking your amp to somebody. It's like you got to find somebody that knows their shit and that you trust. And I totally trust those.
So few of those.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, there really is so few of those.
Yeah. It's just once you find that right person, it's like, you know, luckily here in Montrose, there's like a couple of people, like in La Crescenta, there's an amp repair dude. If anything,
Greg Leon.
Yeah, Leon.
Yeah, he was on our show.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
he's like 5 minutes away.
Yeah, Greg's a good dude.
I picked up a used head a long time ago, and something was wrong with it, and he went through it and just fixed it like really, really quick. I found this like little tiny 50-watt Victory head.
Yeah.
Some dude sold it to me for like $200, and I was like, $200? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, one side's working, the other side's not, because you can operate it like in half power. And I looked at it and I was like, I guess I'll take my chance on it. And so I took it to him, and he got it up and running.
Nice.
$200. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I record a lot of stuff here. I you know, anything anyone sends me, a lot of ministry ideas, and sometimes end up keeping the guitar stuff that I end up doing here. If I have ideas for a ministry song, take it to Al's studio and just take the session. And sometimes we keep in most cases, we end up keeping some of the guitar tones or retracking or whatever.
Awesome.
But yeah, you know.
That's cool. How do you
It's
compare
good to
the
have a variety. It's good to have a variety of different guitar heads, just different textures. One head's not going to work for everything that you do, or if someone wants to come in and track guitars, it's like you got. And if you want to layer, it's like layering different frequencies. You have to have just a vast array of, like, what I'm looking at. Like, you guys have like different guitar heads, and I see a head first modded head that you have from Jason back there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
great. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's killer too, man.
Yeah, he does great work. Yeah.
I met him at Joe's at Barisi's, and he was a great dude. Just really nice guy. Like,
Jason's
love meeting.
I'm doing double duty this week. I have a show with them on Sunday.
Oh, are you?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do that amp panel show on Sunday.
Oh, all right, dude.
And what do we do it? Oh, this week it's 2:00 California time.
Oh, nice, man.
On Jason's channel. Yeah, we did this amp panel with Dan Gower, myself, and Shay from Monomyth Amps and Jason.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to.
We totally geek out there. That's like totally down a deep rabbit hole of amps. I don't know if anyone watches us, but
no, I can't even imagine. That's like, I mean, the science behind how things work is really like what I'm digging. I'm starting to dig more into it. Given the things I see every day, it's like, it's in my mind, that's like kind of where I want to be. It's like, there's always been a curiosity with fixing things or understanding how things work and why this works and this doesn't work, or why this does work. You know what I mean? Just like, that's always been the science behind amps is pretty amazing to me.
We should probably hit a couple of these super chats.
What's that?
We got to hit a couple of these super chats we have. So
couple questions here.
Walrus is couple below that. Yeah,
I see it. So he says, Dave Friedman, have a match JJ EL34 set. One reads 37 MA, others 31 on my Eurotubes probe. Is this okay to use them in my BE50?
It's kind of close ethnough. I mean, it's a little on the outside, but I mean, generally you're 6 milliamps apart. Generally, you kind of want to keep it to 5, but to be honest, it'll work.
Yeah.
So kind of when you're setting it, sort of go in the middle. So like maybe set the low tube to 32 and set the higher tube to 6 higher than that. So whatever.
So given that there's a big difference between like the 37 and 31, I mean, technically that wouldn't be matched then, right?
It's not matched, but ultimately they say if it's within 5 numbers, it's pretty close. It's fine. But this is 6 numbers. It's close enough. And if you let them sit there long enough, they might read slightly different too. So like you might have taken those readings, but let it sit there for a while and then read it. Let it just sit on for a while. Because sometimes they settle and they might settle at a different number, or that 31 might come up a little bit. So, so it might not be as far apart as you think. But I kind of say if you have that, go one a little high and one a little low, and you'll get kind of, generally speaking, on that amp, you'd want, if you're using the Eurotubes probe, you want, ideally, I think you want like 33 to 34 area on the tubes. So set one at 32, and then the other is what it is.
Right on.
So it's one is a little low, and one is a little. It's still within reason. And some people say mismatched tubes actually sound cooler. So
passion for tone. Wow.
That's Joe, right?
Joe, Joe, what's up?
How you doing, man? And then here's my wife. What's up, April? How are you?
Hi, April.
Love you. All right, let's get to some other questions here. We got Fowler says, Dave, do a Friedman Destroyer. Call it the Friedman Brawler.
I like it.
Friedman Brawler. That's actually I don't think there's ever been a guitar named that. To my
I
knowledge.
like it.
Yeah.
The Brawler.
I would love to do a Destroyer. I just did the Star guitar.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe.
Yes.
Why not?
Any chance of Warren DeMartini Lynch amp? Cheers.
Oh, who knows? Does anyone use amps anymore? Oh God, I hope not. Yeah, please keep using amps.
Keep on.
You never know. We'll see about that. The Lynch, probably not.
Yeah. Warren, of course, that would be cool.
Warren would be cool. It's very specific though. So
yeah. You answered this in an earlier email, but hoping to get a bit longer answer. Do you have a desire or plans to make a modern metal amp compete with the Uberschall 5150s Mark amps of the world? I think you kind of
well,
do.
I said I would like to make something like that, but I'm not saying that you can't do it with things I have now necessarily.
You could with the Satsu on your BE 100.
I mean, like a Mark amp is not. I mean, it's sort of metal, but it's not all that much gain, to be honest. It's got a thing. So it's Uberschall is its whole thing, but 5150 is a lot of gain.
I think that goes back to what we were talking about. Too.
Maybe
it's like you can achieve heavy tones, by, I know I can definitely achieve a heavy tone with like a BE50,
yeah, or a B100
or any of the amps that you
or
have.
You know what? I'll tell you what. You want that? Like, let's take a Butter Slacks amp and let's put some KT88s in it.
Nice.
Ta-da! It's going to be a vicious metal amp.
I haven't played the Butter Slacks, but
it's fucking heavy and vicious.
I got a killer heavy tone with a Jose.
Yeah,
straight up in Plex mode. That was my favorite.
Yeah, you said in Plex mode it was a killer heavy tone. So that's
I dialed in just this nasty percussive, like punchy, clean, heavy tone in Plex mode.
I heard the Jose is now available. Kind of.
The Jose is now on our website and also available at several retailers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Sweetwater has them also. So if you're interested in a Jose and you want to buy it, use our link.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's so many
good buy from our website also now. So there's no waiting list anymore. So we got to a point. We still had people on the waiting list, but we got to a point on the waiting list. It's just like, well, we're going to offer it at some retailers now also. So we will just open it up on our standard shop on the website. So
I have a question for both of you. Like, given all the different heads that you having your own company, Dave and Mark, you have different, like, just a vast array of heads behind you. Like, what would you say your number one, like, go-to would be behind you? If you were like, you know what, I can only take one amp with me, which one would it be?
Oh man.
That's hard, right? it's like which kid would you take with you?
I'm going back and forth between the Plex and the BE 100. So
right on.
Either way, it's my amps, so that's fine.
Yeah. So I think I would go with the Plex. I think that would go with Plex.
Right on.
B100.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm for me, like, I'm gonna go with the amp that spawned the Plex, which is my original 50-watt Plexi Marshall.
All right.
Not because the Plex doesn't sound exactly like it. It's just because, well, that's the original. So if there's one amp that I'll never get rid of, it's that one amp.
Nice.
Although it doesn't mean that I don't love all my amps. It's just they're different flavors,
Yeah, it's good to have different flavors.
I mean, that amp doesn't do every flavor, you know. So
yeah,
But if it was
so
one
if
of your line,
you said, "Hey, I want an amp. I want what your favorite amp is to do this," I might say something totally different.
yeah.
You know,
but your favorite amp in your line of product.
favorite amp in my line. You know, to be honest, maybe the Plex, because you know that's the amp that spawned every amp.
Right.
Yeah.
So that spawned it all. So maybe that, or to be honest, the B100 Deluxe, because it's a Swiss Army knife and kind of can do everything.
Yeah.
How do you, Cesar? How do you compare the white EVH head compared to the Stealth that you have? Which one do you?
Be right back.
Yeah.
Dude, I really love that OG up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next tour that we do, like both of these are coming with me, the EL34 Stealth and and I'm probably gonna, since I've never used it as a main, this is probably gonna be my main tone for sure. Blue channel, just stock the way it is.
Sounds great. Yeah.
And the blue channel, I do drive it a little bit. I'll add like a little mini tube screamer to it, but I haven't used it since I got it. I haven't used it in a live situation yet, so that's when I will be able to kind of dial things in. But I guarantee that's probably going to be my main, or if I can run both. This, I don't know if you know about this head here.
Which one is that? Which Bogner?
That's the Bogner Snorkeler.
Oh, I've heard that's a great amp. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
That's a 50-watt head, and like, if I can tie these both together, and if someone was like, "You guys got to take one," and I can convince them that it's just like one thing, it would be that one thing. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's that's totally, you know, simple EQ, and it screams like it really.
Built like what's it kind of like based on? I'm curious, Dave. Do you know?
Well, I'm sorry. What amp was this?
Bogner Snorkeler.
Oh, it was the original mods that Bogner used to do.
Ah, okay.
So
the
Snorkeler became famous for what Jerry Cantrell originally used.
And the fish.
Right? No, has nothing to do with yes, Jerry's amp or Jerry's preamp had a channel that was essentially the Snorkeler, which was a modified channel that didn't exist. But Reinhold's original mods, when he first came to this country and was doing them on Marshalls and different things, were like the Snorkeler. Pretty high gain, plate fed tone stack, kind of a different thing. Not really, shall we say, a Marshall architecture. So the Snorkeler is a different kind of vibe.
Yeah, I love this head.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love like
I've done some of those mods on amps for people.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
These three have been like my main tracking amps. I need
Is the white one the original one?
Yeah.
Yeah. The lower gain version?
Yeah, it is the lower gain version. I love it. That
was the best one.
That blue channel is like,
I think that was the best one.
Crispy. Yeah, it's nice. It sounds.
Yeah. You can turn the gain on 10 on that channel.
Yeah.
Just nothing you can do on like.
You know what tracks really well too? What tracks really well that EVH makes is the Iconic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have the EL34 version of that, and that has a nice fatness to it, and it's very consistent. That's a really great tracking amp. I love that one too. So it's like, you know, just
the James Brown amp.
James Brown amp. I think that was I met him at NAMM.
Did you?
Yeah, I met him at NAMM, and he was a really, really cool dude.
He's a sweet dude. He's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny, you look at this, kind of like just hillbilly looking kind of, guy. But like he loves like metal amps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. You're looking at him and you're like, you don't expect the metal part to come out. Even like in his pedals that he used to make, the amp tweaker pedals, there was this tight metal pedal was just vicious, man. That was killer.
Yeah. I have
Yeah,
a
it was
50.
good.
I have one of the original 5150s back here behind me, and that thing, it's
Yeah.
that's one of the things that's getting like buried with me, huh?
It's legendary.
Oh yeah, big time,
Yeah.
big time.
We got
I need to pick up one of those Jose's sometime, and just to have in here, and just different
yeah,
textures, dude. Yeah,
yeah, I'd love.
Sure, we
I'd
can
love to-
figure out a way to do that.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's an hour drive. You can get one. Cole just testing. Thanks for the super chat. Caesar, did you try any other tubes in V1 before landing on the 12AY7? I had a Rivera knucklehead tray and that had tons of gain. Now I'm wishing I tried this before selling it.
No, I actually I read up about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot, and I did, and I didn't, on my original 5150, I did quite a bit of preamp tube changes, because I never get rid of preamp tubes. I've been collecting them for the past 25 years or so. So I have just a ton of them that I just have sitting around, and for a reason, because I knew that at some point in my later life, I would end up being that dude that's gonna stay home on the weekend, fucking with preamp tubes. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't party, so what am I gonna do? Aside from hang with my family and mess with stuff. But no, the answer is that's aside from the 12AX7 that comes in the amp, that I just decided to throw it in V1, and I listened to it, and it was a one and done. I was convinced, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave it. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
but that was a great question though.
Yeah. Flesh 84 asks Dave, what exactly is the Dookie mod, and how does it compare game wise to like a BE 100?
I mean, the Dookie mod is not that gainy. It's similar amount of gain as a B channel of a B100. It's not like crazy gain.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional Dookie mod is much looser sounding, though. Not as tight as, like, say, other things in my amps. I don't know. It's not the greatest sound in the world. You kind of have to play that with some volume and the gain backed off some on it. And then you'll get more usable tones out of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you turn the gain all the way up on, because it gets too loose and too, just crappy, after a while.
You just don't turn the gain up on anything that much.
Well, no, but on my amps, I wanted the sound to, even with the gain on 10, for it to be tight and articulate and good. So that was always something. I didn't want it to have a spot where it sounded like ass,
Yeah.
I didn't want that. So I kind of always strive for that. A lot of times, like, leaning out the front end will actually, it's hard to explain, but the distortion sort of flows better, shall we say. It doesn't trip over itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if it's too like loose in the front end, it's kind of like, it doesn't want to like flow out. You know what I mean? It does. It's like it's like water's flowing downhill, but you got a bunch of bricks in the way, and it's trying to get over the bricks. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't like just ring.
It doesn't breathe. It doesn't breathe.
Doesn't breathe. Doesn't like Yeah. It's hard to explain exactly what that is, but like, I have done some Dookie mods for like My Chemical Romance.
Mm-hmm.
And on I was like, he wanted me to copy an original that he had, and I was like, okay, I can copy that. Is it okay if I add in one extra switch?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah. So I added a tight switch on it, so it tightens up the low end a little bit. And he's like, oh man, that's much better. I like this one better than the original.
There you go.
And now I have another amp here that he wants me to do it on. So this is the other guitar player, one of the guitar players in the band.
That's awesome. Cool. Speakers too, man. Speakers are a big thing.
Sure, man.
Like speakers, like that's one thing I'm glad that I learned in my later, now in my later life of like tone searching, is how much like a speaker can change the characteristic and possibly even help you pull shit off of your pedal board. When it comes to gain staging of that's, a tone that you're trying to achieve. And if you think you need more gain for something and, you're trying different pedals and you're trying all these fucking tricks that other people are doing. But, if you have the time to experiment with speakers, that's like one thing that I would always recommend to someone. If you have time and the research, and you're able to buy 4 different speakers, like try them out, like try all of them out and, in different combinations and see how much that changes your tone. Cause that's another thing I forgot to mention is that's part of the formula too, for me is,
what are the speakers that you use?
So eminence, I'm using just different eminence, swamp things mixed with, I have a cab that has swamp things with CV75s and an X pattern. I have another cab that's all DV77, and I have another that's governor and swamp things, and that's actually my favorite combo. Is the governors are killer speakers, and I think I just got like 2 of the version 2s that I haven't installed, but I'm going to hopefully this weekend install them. But when I heard the version 2 of the governor at NAMM, great dynamic speaker. Like that speaker fucking rules. Like it's just everything that I want in frequency it had. And it was cool. Another thing was it was motivating. Like it was inspiring. Like it's when you sit there and you hear an inspiring tone or something that inspires you, and just for me, the sign is when you sit down and you start playing shit that you normally would not ever play or think about.
Right.
And that's because the tone is inspiring the player to just kind of do different things. Yeah. So
sure. Flesh 84 has got another question. What are your thoughts on the build quality of current diesel VH4s? Heard mixed reviews. Do you think they're built well?
Nothing about the VH4 and how it's built has ever changed. Now, has the circuit slightly morphed over the years? I don't have an accurate answer for that. I do believe it has slightly morphed over the years. But as far as how it's built, it's exactly the same as it always was. Same transformers, same way it's wired, same everything, built in Germany.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same as it ever was. So, but does it sound different than earlier versions? I think there were some circuit tweaks, but I can't vouch for that exactly because there are no definitive schematics of the amp.
Oh, really?
So, anywhere that anyone has.
Why is it?
Wow.
Because they don't give them out.
Oh, and no one's broke it down?
Well, some people have broken it down to some extent, but is it accurate to what's current? I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I have done some little mods on a few diesels over time.
What kind of mods? Just out of curiosity, was it to tighten things
the
up?
diesel tightens it up. Yeah, tightens it up a lot. Yeah, the front end is generally too loose, and you need to tighten it up. And then also another mod is someone brought me one that already had KT88s installed in it.
Yeah,
and that was pretty brutal. And then we made it more brutal by tightening up the front end a bit.
Was it a VH4?
Yeah, it was a VH4.
All right. My introduction to high-end amplification was a Diesel Herbert. That was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. That was my first like high-end purchase, and got a Diesel Herbert, and then I ended up, some dude was like, I'll sell you this Herbert for $1,000, like a second one. I was like, all right, I'll buy it.
That's a good deal.
It was a
Yeah, that's
backup,
a good deal.
but that, I mean, great sounding amp, but I did have to tweak a lot, like the front end to make it tighter.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty loose.
within the past couple of days, I found what I would say would be the right, if I, if I had to, choose another diesel again to have for tracking, it would be the
Yeah.
Hagen. I had never played a Hagen,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I played a Hagen the other day, and I was like, dude, why didn't I know about this amp? It was just it was a really good sounding amp, a lot tighter, and
Oh, yeah, cool.
between those three, the VH4, the diesel, I mean the VH4, the Herbert, and the Hagen, I would probably go with the Hagen, like, for sure. It just
I've
had
not heard of the Hagen. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's cool. Got another question from Flash 84. Thanks, man. Have you worked on any Mesa Badlanders? Relatively simple layout. Would they be easy to work on?
I won't work on any Mesa Boogies.
Really?
No.
Oh, he lays down the hammer.
It's a whole nightmare, generally speaking. Have I seen the inside of a Badlander? No, I haven't. Is it improved? I think I've seen a picture of it. It's improved upon. But generally speaking, Mesas have a lot of built-in quirks, let's call them, to them that make them hard to work on. And I used to have a guy that worked for me that used to run the Mesa Boogie store in Hollywood, and it was a head Mesa tech. But he passed away now, so I don't have him anymore, and I just don't. There's not documentation that you can get on things from them, and the documentation that you can get is wrong, and it's just too hard to deal with.
That's too bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone else out there wants to work on them, you can have at it.
Chris Puckett says, Cesar, you have the job that I want. Ministry fan since the late 80s. Seeing them play in Cleveland. Al is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Filthy Pig is always on rotation. Come play New York.
All right, man. Yeah, hopefully soon. I mean, he's Al. When I say Al has, obviously he's announced his retirement. He wants to, throw the towel in and retire, which he's earned it.
Yeah.
He's been going hard for a long time. He's managed to keep the band relevant, which is really awesome. To be able to have that amount of longevity. I've been, it's been awesome to be part of a working team the past 12 years to bring the freight train of Ministry back, and kind of, he basically built it back up again, since 2014, 2015 to what it is now, and he announced his retirement, and this year we only have 8 one-offs, and hopefully there will be more. Usually, we'll have 2 full tours a year, but at the moment we have 8 one-off shows, and after the last album's done, the last album, and I'm actually looking at a message from in a group message, a band group message, the album's officially done. I just got the last song, which I will listen to, when we finish here. But, I would say that hopefully there'll be, and I'm sure there will be a big tour. Don't know when, nothing's confirmed, but usually, I mean, he's announced his retirement. So I would assume that possibly next year or something might
One
hit it hard
last jaunt.
and do New York City and
Till he
everywhere.
realizes he still loves it, and then he won't retire.
Yeah, I mean, he does still love it, dude. Because I mean, regardless, I mean, he always brings it. He is a perfectionist of his craft, and what Ministry's a different animal than your traditional guitar, bass, drums, vocals kind of band. I mean, you're dealing with samples, you're dealing with like synth based stuff, you're dealing with keyboards on top of bass, drums, a lot of low frequencies that usually would clash when you have
Mhm.
so many of them going on stage at once, through monitors and side fills and ears. But he's a scientist of frequency when it comes to, you know, we will rehearse for about 3 days as a band just to make sure that all that people basically know their parts, and we're kind of putting it together. And when he shows up is usually when we have longer rehearsals, because he really tunes the stage. And when you think the stage sounds fine, and he comes in and he's like, nope, doesn't sound right. He knows his frequencies. Like he will spit frequencies out to our monitor dude, and they have their communication and they tweak whatever frequency he's specifying. And you're like, wow, like the stage comes to life. So, you know, he's very involved with what he wants the band to sound like, on top of what everything needs to sound like on stage. And I'm talking about the smallest second sample that really needs to jump out at you. You need to be able to hear it, because a lot of these samples, they work like a hi-hat. You'll hear a repetitive sample, and that's what we're keeping time to. And that's how we have to, the entire band has to be precision tight. It's like there's no way around it at all. You have to be on top of your shit like all the time. And you have to listen for those samples going off to come in or stop at the same time, and just make it sound that tight. So, you know, I'm hoping to come back to New York City, because New York City is probably one of the funnest places to play and alive. And the last time we played at the Brooklyn Paramount, there was, you know, 3,500 people there. 3,500. I don't know what it was capacity, because it was a sold out show, but that city is alive. It's just like Los Angeles is alive. Like, you know, I'd love to come play New York City again soon. So, and yeah, I agree with you on the songwriting too.
Oh, cool.
So
Awesome.
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Flesh has another question. I've heard some people say the SLO clean channel is useless. I don't agree with that. What's that about? Common criticism. Do you recommend any mods for the SLO?
I mean, the traditional clean channel is sort of
Anemic.
It's a little flat, let's call it. It's just a little whatever.
But the crunch,
You know, it's kind of the architecture of the amp. It's like you can only do the clean channel was a kind of an addition originally. So the original SLO didn't really have a clean per se. It was more of a crunch channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then later he added the clean, which sort of patted down the crunch channel some more, which made it a little dead sounding, to be honest. You know, you don't have a separate EQ, you don't have anything. It's a little dead sounding. The crunch sounds better, but that's a little loose sounding. So yes, there is some elements of it that most people that had the SLO never used the clean channel.
yeah.
They didn't really channel switch it. They just used the one drive channel and went, you know.
I love the SLO. It has
It's cool.
It's its own thing. It has you know, it has some sizzly characteristics that I really love, that are like just like, you know, just like the original like PV 5150 has that sizzle character, and it's its own thing. That's what I love about that amp. And the SLO 30 too. That's a really good
That's
amp.
cool.
Really
That's
good
great.
little amp.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Boutique. Yeah,
Are there mods you can do? Sure. There's mods I like to do to the crunch channel. I don't really use the clean channel so much, but I like to change the crunch channel a little bit to be a little more, it's a little less loose. So it's a little more JCM 800-ish in the end when I'm done with it. And then And then, you can, on traditional SLO, you can also tighten up the overall response. I kind of balance the two channels a little bit. So if you want the lead channel a little tighter, I do that, but then I kind of balance up the crunch channel to it. So it's not, when you're switching between the two, it's not like, oh, that's a little too bassy and ooh, that's a little too tight. It's got to be balanced between the two. So I kind of do a little balancing act there.
Yeah.
But you can make it sound pretty cool. There's some things you can do to the crunch channel and stuff that make it sound pretty great.
That's awesome.
Cool. I mean, I've done all sorts of things to those amps over the years.
Lefty's Right Eye. What's going on? Thanks for the super chat. No question, just a shout out. Thanks, Mark and Dave, for hosting a great show. Longtime listener. Cesar saw Ministry in Milwaukee in 2024. Still loud as fuck. And awesome as always. Great guitar tone. Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Sweet.
loud. That's our front of house guy, Wedge. Like,
loud is good.
Do you know Wedge, Dave?
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's our front of house dude, and he like really pushes it, and it's just like you can feel it too. I can feel when he's
important, man.
I could feel when he's pushing the fader, and
yeah. Oh yeah, you can feel it on the stage vibrating, right? Just like
We were just talking about quiet stages, Dave. And
I know
we don't like quiet stages.
The thing about it, I was just having that discussion actually today. It's funny. In the room is Steve Stevens and fucking Tim Skold.
Yeah.
And so we're having a conversation about that. And Tim was like, yeah, so now I'm playing in Manson and now they want to use quad cortexes. And he's like, because, you need to feel it. He goes, you need to feel. Tim is a very modern guy that likes modern tones, and he does a lot of amazing drum samples and things that, like he can fabricate. Man, he can make the best sounding drums out of fake drums you've ever heard. But like at heart, he's like, as a guitar player and or a bass player, I still want to feel it behind me. He goes, without the feeling behind me, it's just like, it's just not that inspiring. It's not that inspiring. It's and as an audience member, when you're watching bands, if you see a bill where a band has, even at moderate volumes, some cabinets on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going into the house, traditional like amps. And then the next bill, you see complete modelers. There is a considerable, it's just not, it doesn't have the same impact.
I hear you. No. Yeah, I totally.
Can it sound okay? Yes, it can sound okay.
Mm-hmm.
But is okay good enough? I don't think okay is good enough.
Yeah, I hear you.
I grew up in an era where I would see concerts that sounded amazing. Concerts do not sound amazing anymore.
Yeah, it's different.
Come on. You saw concerts in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Early 90s, you were saying, right?
Oh,
and how did they sound?
Loud as fuck.
Loud as fuck, and it sounded amazing, right?
Amazing, yeah, big time.
And now you see concerts today, and you're like, wow, it doesn't seem that loud, but wow, my ears hurt.
Yeah,
why is that?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
and it doesn't have the same. It doesn't. The sound does not surround you and envelop you. It just sort of is kind of
at you.
Flat, kind of comes at you. It's like,
well, part of the vibe of playing live for me, part of the vibe is having a loud stage. That Ministry is that's part of the Ministry DNA, is like having an insanely loud stage, because you can actually watch the band side stage and you can get the full effect because you're hearing what is going on stage. But I mean, I can see, I've been in that predicament too, where it comes down to logistics, and
I
my
understand that.
my only choice is like a modeler. And so making the best of it is a different thing. And that's when you get into the science of shit and you put a whole month into trying different shit. Like, but
and that's what's funny.
Yeah. But the thing is the closest you're going to get is running a tube power amp or even like a Seymour Duncan power stage. You know what I mean? If it comes down to logistics, I mean, you just have to take the time to dial shit in. Of course, it's never going to be the same. And I agree with you on that, because when it comes to like purists, like I will die for my tube amps, because it's a motivation factor for me, and to have to sacrifice a motivation factor because of logistics, it's just kind of you have to adapt, and but in a modeler sense, you always have to have a cab running on stage too, because if you go totally silent, you don't
Some
get
people
your
don't,
feedback
though.
points.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Feedback. That's the other thing. It's like the excitement of a guitar, and its interaction with the cabinet, and it feeds back, or it does, or you're using the feedback as part of the song, or the interaction is totally different.
Yeah.
And with volume comes, you can use less gain because you have the interaction.
Yeah.
Without volume, you have to use more gain.
Yeah.
And it then becomes like a box of bees floating around your head. It's like the NAMM show.
Yeah. But there's, and if anyone's, what I would suggest if anyone is a super, super tube head purist, and you're in a predicament where, say a certain camp wants you to use a quad cortex because it's going to cost them less
Yeah,
money.
sure. I understand.
You know what I mean? I would always say, dude, find yourself a 30-watt head, some type of 20-30-watt head that you're going to love, and, use something like Torpedo Captor X, 2 notes Torpedo Captor X, with some type of cab on stage, so you can actually get volume and you can get your feedback points, or use one of the the Amp Central Evos I don't know if you've tried the Amp Central Evo from Red 7. That's another one. You know what I mean? So there's ways around that if you want to stay in that realm of like, tube heads, which would be my choice too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's another. I mean, I would assume that that maybe Tim is going to have a live cabinet on stage for that reason. No.
Yeah, no, he wants to.
Yeah.
But it's like now it's like
yeah, that would never fly. That would
being
never
pressured
fly.
without it, But he's playing bass, so it might not be that big of a deal.
That would never fly for me, only because there's one song that's called "So What." I think I told you about this. My job on that song is to feed back in harmonic. It's that's
so that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
So you need that relationship.
Yeah. I like always see my buddies in this old Detroit band Sponge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come through the whiskey all the time, several times a year, and I go hang out because they're buddies of mine, and we go hang out in the dressing room, until they go on, and then we go watch the show, and man, their whole show is about feedback from the cabinets and stuff.
Yeah.
They start songs, like Plowed, the song Plowed. They start the song with feedback. You know what I mean?
Which is awesome.
If they didn't have feedback, it would be gone. The whole vibe would be over.
Right.
And
exactly.
I asked the singer Vinny, I go, you like loud guitars on stage too? He goes, fuck yeah, I like loud guitars on stage. Yeah. And he's a singer. He goes, he doesn't have, it doesn't have to be absolutely screaming, but you gotta have that, because that's the essence of of rock and roll. You know, that's what he said to me. You know, and he's the singer.
It is the true essence of rock and roll, is like loud fucking shit on stage.
Yeah.
You know, look at bands like COC or the Melvins or like Down. Like listen to those dudes guitar tones, and they're legendary, and they've created like something of their own. They've created, like, when you hear those tones, like Down guitar tones or COC guitar tones, Buzz from the Melvins, they all have their own tone. Like you can tell it's them, and it's all loud shit on stage, and that's beautiful, right? It's like,
also, if everyone in the world uses a quad cortex or a fractal, how boring is that? Because everyone's using the same tones.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everyone's using the exact same shit. It's like, you know, it's like it's with the same models and the same favorite models in the units. You know,
the only way to use,
you know,
and I've experimented with a quad cortex as well. The only way to really use them and make them yours and turn them into something that is yours,
capture your own amps.
Capture your own amp
with
I know. No overdrive, no cabinet.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Right,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's the only way, and that's the closest to getting.
I gotta excuse myself again. Sorry.
All right.
No problem.
All right.
Well, answer that question, or you answer that question, Cesar.
Which one?
Well, this one, between the Jose and the BE 100 Deluxe, which one is better for modern metal? You get pedals to tighten things up.
You know what? I found me personally. I found the on the Jose, for me personally, like, one thing, I mean, if it works for me, it might not work for anybody else, but the Jose in Plex mode was killer for me, and a slight boost on there, like a slight boost pedal, that would be the perfect tone coming from that head. The BE 100 Deluxe, the Deluxe is killer too. It's two different flavors too, and the settings that I would use for both. But I mean, for modern metal, I would probably go with the Jose and hit it with some type of booster overdrive for sure. In Plex mode, that's what worked for me. You know, I'm lucky enough to be able to, you know, jam on these things on a daily, so that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, well, you went a different way than I was thinking, because I was thinking maybe the BE 100 Deluxe would like.
Yeah, and it's definitely a cool amp. I mean,
but I was thinking in the SAT mode where you're getting real heavy gain for modern metal. But yeah, it really depends. Like you said,
it depends on how you're doing. You know, modern metal. What does that mean?
Yeah,
what does that mean? I guarantee that modern metal. Okay. Let's say tuned down guitar. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've had people that come in and tried things with tuned down guitars, and I generally wind up dialing them back in the gain and boosting, you know, the presence and boosting, you know, the cut
and some volume,
because they generally are tuned down, so they have heavier strings. So you need to boost the presence a lot, and you need to boost, you know, where it cuts through the cabinet, and you know that, and that's enough. You know what I mean? It's like, and it might be on the BE channel even. It's not like the crazy gain. You know, yes, a lot of modern metal guys use a pedal to tighten things up a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, you know what?
You can do that.
Yeah, that's. I don't think, you know, I don't think there's a rule against that, and that's whatever it takes to achieve that. But you know, between the two, I love both of them. But you know, lately I've had a closer relationship with the Jose, and like I said, I mean, every chance I get, I'll, you know, spend a good 5 to 10 minutes on it, and like, you know, answering this gentleman's question. You know, if it was up to me, I would probably choose the Jose in Plex mode with some type of booster overdrive in the front, and that would be killer. You know.
Okay. Awesome. Fowler, thanks for the super chat again. Put me on the list for the brawler. I
guess I'm making a fucking Explorer now. It all started with the guitar you don't even endorse anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the brawler, the brawler with the Floyd, like Mayweather. He'll punch you right in the
It sounds fun.
noggin.
Sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Brawler.
A brawl.
We'll see. There was this guitar. When Carlos Cavazo was on the show, I kind of did some research and I looked back at his band before Quiet Riot, which is a band called Snow.
Yeah.
Right. And there were some videos of him from way back. And I looked at these videos and I go, what the fuck is he playing? And it's an Explorer, right? But it's a bolt-on Explorer.
Yeah.
With a telly neck on it. And it was sort of painted like a barbershop pole.
Wow.
So it was like white. It was almost like the Diver Down cover in some respects, but it almost with a white and black kind of thing. And I'm like going, why do I just, it had a trem on it. I go, why do I love this fucking guitar so much? When I saw the video, I'm like, oh, this is cool, And then we asked him about it on the show. And apparently what had happened is years ago, he sold it, he autographed it and sold it to some dude. And like, I don't remember how many years later, 20 years later or something,
came back.
The dude gave it back to him.
Yeah.
So he has it. And I'm like going, dude, you got to bring that by. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see this guitar in person.
Those are the stories.
And
it
was it was originally Charvel parts.
Right.
Wow.
It was parts from Grover that he just assembled himself. He had some dude paint it and stuff. And I'm like going, I knew it had something to do because back in the day, Charvel did some bolt-on like Explorers and things. And it was such a weird mix with the telly neck on the bolt-on Explorer body and this and that with the trim. And I'm like going, I got to see this thing. I got to call him up and like go, hey, bring that guitar by. I want to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He offered on the show. He goes, I'll bring it by. You can check it out.
You should definitely check it out.
I'm like going, oh, God, I want to see it just for history standpoint,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
I
was
love
on
it.
a little binge. I'm like, I got this telly neck here. Maybe I could make one of those guitars.
Yeah, those are awesome. I love to hear stories like that when guitars come back to you,
Yeah.
if they're lost or stolen. I know that happened.
Sure. That happened a million times to a bunch of people.
I know that happened to Zach Wilde. I know that happened to Steve Vai. Like somebody stole his guitar, and then I guess someone felt so like fucking guilty about it that they stuck it in like a bush outside of his house or something, and it came back to him. It's like, because it's part of your fucking DNA. Like those instruments, when you find those instruments that are like so a part of you, I think it is, and I believe it. I think energetically, it's like it's like having a child. It's like part of you. Like it needs to be with you and played all the time.
Yeah, especially if it's a guitar that you've really bonded with.
Things come back to you sometimes. It's a weird thing. Like I recently had a guitar I built out of parts when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I had later, I sort of stopped playing it. And then I think I sold it to a friend of mine around 1990-ish or 91-ish or 92-ish, somewhere in there. And he's had it ever since, right? And like in recent times, in fact, I sold him probably 3 guitars. I wish I hadn't sold them. And I was like, you still have that stuff, right? He goes, yeah, man. You want to sell any of that back? You sell it back to me, or I wouldn't mind getting that guitar back, or that one, And he brought it back to me actually. So we're doing some sort of trade. He brought it back to me, and I'm like, man, this guitar is still cool.
Yeah.
It was like a Warmoth neck on a Chandler body. It was just a Strat. It's a Strat with a Floyd Rose on it, and like like a hum single kind of thing. And but it's got a vibe. It's got a thing. Yeah. And like I got it back, and I'm like, yeah, I like it. I'm glad I got it back.
Chandler made good stuff. I heard. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so we got Cole just Stessen. Thanks again. Cesar, I really like the CV75 speaker, but never tried the Governor. How does the Mark II compare to the CV75? Also, this is the first time I've seen an interview with you. You're a hell of a cool dude.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
CV75 is a cool speaker.
Yeah, it's a great speaker, man. I think it has a perfect amount of breakup, if that makes like a present breakup, if you ask me, without getting too loose and too like shitty on the low end. When you start to turn it up, it doesn't sound like it's falling apart. It doesn't sound like it's like help me, you know? So yeah, it's super present speaker. I love it, without killing your ears. The Governor, like what I love about the Governor too, the Governor and the Governor too, is the warmth behind it. It's like it has a very nice it's a pleasant warmth, and it's got the perfect amount of sizzle without it being hard. It's not harsh at all. That's what I love about it. It's like harsh, and when you start to crank the volume, like on the 2, the only time that I really like got to try it out was at NAM, and we turned it up, and it just had a good motivational like warmth to it. You just want to sit around and just keep on playing for hours. So sonically, I mean, that would be a good pair, like in an X pattern, a CV75 and a Governor MK2. That would be a great X pattern pair that would cover all the frequencies that you would need for a guitar tone, you know? Yeah.
I stopped by the Eminence booth, which was right behind the boutique booth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tried to talk to Rick, but
what a good dude.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. He was busy working with some guy and setting him up and playing. He was an artist, and the guy was playing and stuff like that. So Rick was busy, but I was going to ask him on the show. But yeah, he's been there now probably close to a year, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, a little over a year actually. And you know what he's done to that company is actually rather impressive. It's rather impressive. He's a cool dude. He's like a real grassroots dude. Like, you know, it's cool to find people that are willing to take the chance on you, you know, and work with you. You know, in terms of, I like to give my opinion. I think that's like, I don't know, people might get annoyed by that, like companies that I love to deal with, but I think opinion is really, really important, and being like transparent. And he's like all about the transparency and, you know, being honest with him about things. So I really, really dig, I really dig working with that dude. He's another solid dude.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Super important.
Yeah. We'll get him on the show one of these days. We've got, I got to wrap things up soon. Rob M709 says, with the super chat, thanks guys. Hi guys. First time, long time. Love the show. Dave, I'm going to email you this week regarding help with my dreaded JCM 900. Oh no.
Thank you for the $20. If you're going to email me about the 900,
we appreciate it.
I hope it's not to mod it, because I won't. But if you got a problem with it, okay, maybe
you won't fix it.
So email me. No, I've fixed them. I've fixed them before,
but you won't mod. Why?
You know, the 900 thing is like, so much of it is solid state and stuff, and it's just like it's not really friendly to mod. There's not much you can. I mean, I suppose there's some stuff you could figure out, maybe you could do to it, but it's just like too hard to mod and stuff. So it's not really friendly for it. So
that's good to know.
Let's not. I mean, like an 800 is really friendly. Do you do anything the hell you want to it, and you can put 50 knobs across the front of it, but like not that one.
Okay.
You can also mod the vintage modern amp. That one comes out pretty cool too when you're done.
Wow.
And you can get those generally cheap.
The vintage modern.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're kind of cool.
You can turn it into something totally different though. And
that's awesome.
and cool sounding, you know.
Right on.
Of course, you know, as cheap as you get it, and then you got to pay me to mod it. So I mean, maybe it's not cheap anymore, but it'll at least be something cool.
Yep. Well, that's cool. Well, hey, Cesar, it was awesome to have you on the show. I was just looking up your Instagram.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure you check out Cesar Soto Official on Instagram.
Thank you.
And also Ministry. And when is the new album going to come out?
I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure when it's coming out, but you know, this is the last one, and you know, we've all had like the pleasure of contributing a lot of cool things to it. So, it's one of those, for me, it's like one of those bittersweet things, because it's been like a huge part of your life for the past 12 years, and a year or two can pop up pretty quick, you know what I mean? So but not too sure when it's coming out, but can't wait to be out there and bring the tune, all the classic tunes to everyone on the last tour, and new stuff, and whatever Al decides to do. I know whatever he decides to do, he's going to do it right. So
awesome.
So just glad to be a part of that. But to be a part of a legacy like that is like, it's pretty amazing. I never thought I'd ever be able to do anything like that in my life, but
So tell us about Man the Mute too.
So Man the Mute is like, it's music that I put together and recorded on my own. And it was like one of those pandemic things, where you had a lot of time on your hands, weren't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything with ministry, obviously, because of the pandemic. And so I kind of started obsessing with trying to get my songs done, because I didn't have any time between as much as we used to tour with ministry pre-pandemic, and it's just stuff that I put out, and I don't know if there's going to be another Man the Mute record, because I'm kind of not in that vibe right now. I'm really vibing on some other stuff right now that is not really heavy at all. It's heavy in its own regard, but it's not heavy as in metal. There's like a lot of different elements in there, and I think I found a few people that I'm going to be working with. One of them who's actually putting vocals to stuff, and we'll see where she takes it. She's a killer vocalist, strong vocalist, can cover anything from A to Z, just very talented. Cool. And we'll see. And you might see that next, who knows, but sky's the limit. And I don't have any plans on stopping whatsoever,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just thought of Sky's the Limit. That's a good name of a band.
Right. Sky's the Limit.
That would be a good name of the band.
Yeah. Sky's the Limit.
There's one more little super chat. I think just one guy's sort of thanking.
Yeah, as soon as you said, I'm like, oh, that's a good name of a band.
I do like that name. That could be cool.
Yeah,
Sky's the Limit.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that band name.
Me either. I'm writing it down. Okay, Flesh 84. The Jose is my first tube amp. Hell of a first, absolutely. I want to add the E100 Deluxe to the collection, but I have to wait until I get back to the States. Thanks for all the advice, guys. Well,
cool, man. First tube amp. I don't understand that.
Well, maybe he's 13. Maybe
you're going all in.
I have no idea. I've been playing tube amps since I was forever.
Yeah. He could be very young.
So, or not, or
just kidding.
I don't know. So, well, awesome. I'm glad you got the Jose and it's killer, and you should get the BE Deluxe. Why not? It's got more. It's got more stuff to it. It's got a different vibe.
I also I want to apologize about the technical difficulties.
Oh, no, man.
Oh, no big deal. Yeah, we got it sorted.
I really appreciate you guys having me on here, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm just glad that you guys have a platform and a community that really digs this kind of stuff, because this is like, it's the most important thing to me. It's one of the most important things to me, along with like playing to the best of your abilities, is like knowing your gear to the best of your abilities and knowing what you're working with. And just to have a platform like this, to be able to talk to, dudes that build amps and dudes that know about tone, and that
producers, whoever,
producers, that people that are passionate about stuff like that. I think that is important, is to bring all the passionate people together and share the information and not gatekeep, and like just influence each other, just to not only become like better nerds and better musicians and better people. It's like creating a community. I think that's super important, is to have a community of passionate people that can put ideas and combos together and learn from one another. Because I've learned some things just listening to you guys talk, and thanks again for like bringing me on board.
Man. That's great. You put it really well.
Yeah,
thank you.
I like how you said that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
right on.
For sure.
Yeah,
We've built a fantastic community over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody we met is super cool.
We keep trying.
Yeah,
it's important. It's very important. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for watching the show. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Cesar, just hang on when we say goodbye. Once we hang up, we'll say goodbye offline.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week with Johnny Resnick from Google Dolls.
Google Dolls.
So that'll be great.
Is that next week? Yeah.
I think it's next Friday. Yeah.
The 6th.
The 6th, is that next Friday?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
correct. We'll be back next week with Johnny Resnick.
Yeah.
Right on.
Who is a complete, guys, he's a complete gear nerd on the nth degree.
Oh, really?
So he'll and not just gear, studio gear, microphones, things. He's a gear nerd. He loves it. So when I saw him recently, I hadn't seen him in a while. I literally got trapped in a conversation for like a good half an hour in the production office with him. Just talking about gear.
About Mike Prees.
Gear. Like, what do you think about that? What do you think? What about that? I love it.
That's what I love. It's the kid in people that are the kid in curious. It's like a curious kid. That's the thing about like gear and people that are obsessed with gear, is that it's like it brings out the kid in you again, and it's one of those things where it just makes you feel like a kid again. It's like cool. Yeah. It's great to be curious. It's like, that's how else are we supposed to learn if we don't have that curiosity? That's fucking awesome. That's one of the best feelings ever.
I've known John a long time. He's a cool dude. So it should be a fun chat, and has written some iconic songs. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on. Amazing iconic songs. So
yeah.
We should have fun.
All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and we'll
have a good weekend.
Cheers.
Have a good night. Thank you.
You got it.